Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Speakeasy Spotlight. I am your host, Ashley Haw, and today we are here to talk about Speakeasy's upcoming production of Covenant by York Walker. And we're chatting with not only just the director, but the artistic director of all of Speakeasy. It is Dawn M. Simmons. Hi, Dawn. How are you doing today?
I'm really well. It's so nice to see you again, Ashley. Thanks for chatting with me.
Of course. No, it's my honor and a pleasure. And I mean, you have really done everything that, produced and directed and done everything around Boston. And so I'll try and list as many things as I possibly can before we get into some questions. But Dawn is an Elliott Norton Award-winning director, producer, writer, educator, and consultant. Her regional credits include the Boston Symphony Orchestra, Handel and Haydn Society, the Alliance Theater, Huntington, JAG Productions, Play on Shakespeare, the Hangar Theater, Wham Theater, Wheelock Family Theater, Lyric Stage, Central Square, New Repertory, Gloucester, Greater Boston Stage Company, Commonwealth Shakespeare Project, Speakeasy Stage Company, of course, and Actors Shakespeare Project. And Dawn is the founder of Front Porch Arts Collective and a proud member of SDC. So there we go. We got it
There
all
we
out
go.
there. And now
We
we
got it
can,
all.
talk to you about everything Covenant. It's so exciting. This is your second season. With Speakeasy as artistic
Yeah.
director. And so, we've already talked about last year, we talked about, you getting into directing and all that and what kind of started all of that. So we'll just dive straight into Covenant.
I love
So
it.
Dawn, give us that elevator pitch. How would you describe the show to someone who's never seen it?
I would describe it as sexy, scary, sort of white knuckle tale, Southern Gothic, about the stories that are told about us versus the stories that are true about us. And right, like the mythology around ourselves, the mythology that surrounds us.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
such, I mean, I was able to read this play a while ago and I just remember being like, oh my God, this is very different. It's not a super typical, I guess, what you would think of like, this is a normal play. It kind of takes you on this great journey and there's so much
Yeah,
to
it's got a
uncover
lot
with
of
that.
the supernatural that goes with it, which I really love. It's a chance for us to show off a little bit, right? To find some magic in our storytelling. Um, yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So take us through, I guess, the process of how and why you decided to direct the show.
This is a show that I've been circling around for a couple of years now. Some of the theater companies that I admire most, right, like the Alliance, of course, has just done it. It's one of these shows that so many of my friends and colleagues also put in front of me to say, this is a show that Speakeasy should do. And more to the point, we think you should direct it. And so I think it speaks a little bit to my penchant for, right, this supernatural, like really sort of larger than life storytelling in a very pastoral sort of mode. And so when people put this story in front of me, it was, when you read a story and you're like, oh, this is everything that I want, right? Like there's romance at the heart of it. There is strife, there is struggle, right? There's real conflict. It just had a little bit of everything. And that idea that we can also play in the world of the supernatural just seems so much fun to me. I couldn't resist.
And it's such a fun way to open the season of, a new year, a new speakeasy, and just really turning over that
Yeah.
new leaf and really bringing everything that we know and love speakeasy for, I think, to the center is so exciting.
Mhm.
So what can audience expect to see in this play?
I think this show, right, it's Southern Gothic about a musician who has left home and then comes back, right, to, I would say, reclaim the young lady that he left behind. And then slowly you realize, oh, this story is not about him at all. It is about the people in this town, a very specific family and what they've left behind in their own lives, right? Their dreams deferred, their ambition, and their relationships, and that there's something really sinister brewing underneath it all that might be pushing them or motivating them or controlling them, and you don't know until the very end. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading it the first time and being like, "What?" I think I had to go back, and I was like,
Oh,
"Wait."
mhm.
Obviously, because I
Wait,
couldn't.
what?
I'm not visualizing it in
Mhm.
front of me. I was just visualizing it in my head, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What just happened?" I was like,
What just
"Wait, let me
happened?
go through. Let me go through
Hmm.
and like see where the threads kind of were hanging loose that I didn't quite catch on to yet."
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think
I
that's the
love
most
that.
exciting part about it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so, what do you hope our audiences will take away from this show when they come to see it?
I think what I'd love for folks to remember, I love the way that this show sort of reminds us that what you see on the surface, there's so much more underneath, that we make up these stories about the people in our lives. We make up stories about ourselves, and they're not necessarily true, or
Hmm.
they're right. It's only part of our truth. And that
Hmm.
sometimes playing and living in that mythology is more fun than playing and living in our ordinary. And what are we able to do and accomplish because of those stories? Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just it really puts into perspective like how as humans like we see different people through our eyes only and we don't see
Yeah.
the full story or we don't know their full experiences unless we
Hmm.
ask.
Hmm.
And so and talking about it is so important.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this show. If you
Me
weren't
too.
aware, if you know if it wasn't already obvious.
Right?
um but Don, why are you excited to open season 36 with this show?
I think it's a bit of a showstopper, right? Like this piece has some interesting visual effects. Like I said, when I say that it traffics in the supernatural, right? There's going to be a lot of magic that we bring, a lot of effects that we bring. And so I'm getting to work with some really incredible artists to figure out how we're going to pull off some of the sleight of hand of this show. Um, I think it is both an entertaining show and a timely show. It speaks to the human condition, but right, like that is also underneath. I just think how compelling this story is, right? And
Hmm.
the way that it's told, the writing is great, right? The dialogue is great. Um, and it deceptively, like at first you think, oh, this is starting slow, and then the next thing you know, we're off to the races, right? Like it is a really fun and invigorating way to start the season.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
going to be amazing.
And right,
And
it's right in time for what, like the Halloween season. So there's a little
that's
bit of, yeah,
a
like I
little
said, a little bit of a
spooky,
sinister, a
spooky
little spooky.
season.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, oh, it'll be perfect. And so, what role do stories and storytelling play in our lives when it comes to how they affect us, protect us, and also harm us?
I mean, I think the stories that we tell are how we make sense of the world. They're how we make sense of our situations. They're how we contextualize ourselves and other people. Um, And sometimes we're really self aware in those stories that we're telling. And sometimes, again, which part of why I love this, the mythology that everybody is living with in this particular show, right? Sometimes we mythologize our own lives. We mythologize the things that have happened to us. We make them much bigger than they are, much smaller than they are. And right in those instances, sometimes harm comes from it. But really, right, our stories help us process what's going on in some of the safest of ways.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, our whole world is made up of stories and the
Yeah.
different stories that we tell and different beliefs that we have,
I
and
mean,
they really shape everything.
everything we're doing is telling a story. The email that
Hmm.
you're writing to your colleague is you telling a story about the work that you need done and crafting tone. How do you want to do it? How do you expect to be treated? Right? Like
Hmm.
everything, right? We walk down the street and we see people and we're making up stories about each other in our heads, right? Everything is storytelling.
Yeah, yeah. And how do the secrets we hold shape who we are?
I mean, I think that is deeply personal for every person, um, right, who enters into storytelling, who enters into being. It's again one of the things that's so brilliant about Covenant, right? Like those secrets are shaping people and they are living their lives towards the secret. When if they could just like let themselves go and be free and be true, right, they would live a completely different life. So I mean,
Hmm.
I think in our reality, right, secrets can protect us, right? If we're keeping them ourselves, because we need to keep a part of ourself private and hidden away and locked away for our own protection. But sometimes, right, those same secrets, right, that thing that we do to protect us can also be keeping us down. We can be self-oppressing, right? I mean, secrets can be about self-preservation, right? Um, and sometimes, I mean, my favorite, like just sometimes your life is nobody else's business. And right, this really beautiful thing that my father would say every now and again, right? He was like, just find moments when you can have some mystery about you. You don't have to tell everybody everything, right? What is it for people to wonder? What is it for people to mythologize you,
Hmm.
right? And make up their own sort of backstory about you. And then how do you live up to that? Or how do you disprove that? Or again, how do you live your own truth? Because your life, your stories are not necessarily anybody else's business, right? Again, I mean, I think part of that is the self-preservation of the like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I love that
Mhm.
actually. I think that's been voicing something that even me personally has been trying to put out into the world, or just not even put out to the world, but keep to myself.
Yeah.
Of, you don't have to tell everybody everything going on in
You
your
don't have to
lives.
tell everybody everything going on in your life, and you don't always have to correct the record, right? I think that, right, in the ways that we mythologize ourselves, the stories that we tell about ourselves, right? I have found in places that, right, like the story, the legend is the piece that gives me power, right? And
Hmm.
I don't have to debunk it, even whether it's true or not, right? If you are operating under the guise that I'm a certain kind of person and that benefits me, oh no, like enjoy it, right? When do you lean into that? I mean, again, I
Mm.
mean, I think that's part of what this whole season about. Its whole season is about the stories that we tell, what we've inherited from people, what we've made up of ourselves, and then how we rewrite those things.
Mm.
Right. I have used other people's mythologizing of myself as a way to write my own story, as a way to say, like, no,
Hmm.
actually, I'm going to try to live up to this. Right.
Yeah. No, I mean
Which
it.
I love. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an interesting concept just to think about, and
Yeah.
I will be doing a lot of thinking about this, I'm sure, later on. Um, and so, I guess what happens? I think you kind of answered this, but like, what happens when someone else tells your story?
I think unclear. It's different every time. Again, right? Have they told it right? Are they telling something that is incorrect, but it benefits you? Do you have to, when do we as people feel that we should claim that story? When is it better to just like, you know what, go on, think what you want to think, right? Where do we as individuals find the power in that? That is something
Hmm.
that fascinates me. Um, I think we hear so many people, especially many of us, that are telling culturally specific theater. We need to reclaim these stories. We need to insert ourselves in these stories. We need to tell our stories. I'm like, right? Each time I'm doing it, each time any of us are doing it, are we being intentional in whatever choice we are making? Right? Am
Mm.
I being intentional about the story that I want to reclaim? Am I being intentional about, oh, I'm not going to correct the record. I'm going to let this story like roll? Right? Am I being intentional about telling something new and fresh? Right?
Hmm.
I, it's not one size fits all. Right? And it's
Yeah.
not one way. There's only one way to go. Right?
Yeah.
Our human experience is so much more complex.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
much more complex.
It's that whole single story thing. There is no way to tell
Yeah.
everything in just a single story.
Yeah.
There's so many layers that come with that.
Hmm.
And so, how does Covenant interrogate the relationship between faith and fear?
Oh, I'm not going to answer that. That you have to see. That is absolutely part of the magic of the show,
And that is
right?
okay, and we'll take
Right.
that answer.
Does faith, I'll say this, like, right, does faith use fear? Does faith combat fear?
Mm.
right? Does it exacerbate fear? I think it's at least the show is interrogating those questions, but you need to see it to see how that's borne out.
Well, get your tickets if you're listening.
Nick?
The single tickets are online, I think I saw.
Yes, they are.
So it's exciting.
Yes, it
And
is.
Dawn, do you believe in spirits, or have you had any spirit ghost encounters to share?
Hmm. I'm going to hedge. I both believe in spirits and I don't believe in spirits. My parents will tell you that I had an encounter with a spirit when I was much younger. I've certainly been in rooms where I felt a presence, where I've felt something. I've been in spaces where I've lost time and I can't understand right what happened. Um, so I think that we live in a world where the supernatural dances around us.
Mhm.
And so I can't say with certainty that I do or don't believe, but I've had moments.
Yeah, I'm sure we all have, and just in little moments where it's like, oh, something else is happening
Something's
here.
here, right? Something's happening,
It's
right?
like I'm
Something, some
not
force.
alone.
Yeah.
And to kind of wrap up, like blues music plays a big role in Covenant. And so, first of all, do you listen to blues music? And do you have any recommendations to get people in the mood before they come and see the show?
I do listen to blues music. It is a steady but unsteady part of my musical like diet. And I say this to say I've listened to blues music like I've listened to classical music, right? I find a playlist on Spotify or AccuRadio or some right internet radio station and put it on and start playing. So I don't have a specific recommendation, right, as to who you should listen to or what you should listen to, other than to say, like, go sample, try everything. Like, I'm the kind of person who has music going on in my house all the time, but it
Me
could
too.
be anything, right? One day it's
Yeah.
like reggae, and you're like, what on earth is that? And then it's like dubstep, and you're like, are people still listening to that? And right, like, there's just a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
My parents were huge jazz heads. And so blues always sort of dances around the corners of that.
Hmm.
So it's been in my life a lot. I do love it. I love a steel guitar. I love a harmonica, right?
Yes.
There are a lot of uh, like female blues musicians that are underground and they are like just honky tonk dirty fun. And I love them, right? I love it all. Yeah.
Well, then now, everyone knows first to get their tickets, then to start creating a playlist before you come and see the show,
Yes.
and get ready for the magic because it's going to be amazing.
It's gonna be amazing.
Well, Dawn, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me today and talk about Covenant. I am so excited for this new season of Speakeasy and just to see, because this is my senior year in Boston. And so this might be my last year, you know. To come and be a part of the magic that is Speakeasy, at least in a more consistent manner. But it was just a great time talking to you today. So thank you so much.
You are most
And
welcome. Thank you.
and thank you to everyone who's listening. Make sure to get your tickets and go see Covenant. Thank you so much.